It's really powerful. It was really cool.
So, on the concentration thing,
Yeah.
how do you concentrate? Like, what do you do?
Oh, well, he just started talking about how, like, closing your eyes and thinking about kind of whatever it is that you want to think about. Like, he mentioned, what's a recent, like, everybody had their eyes closed. What's a recent wedding that you've been to? What did the bride wear? Did you like what she wore? And he was saying after he asked all of those questions, he asked like a ton of thought-provoking questions like that. It was like, did you like the time? Did you like the food you ate? I mean, just very thought-provoking, kind of emotional memory questions. And then at the end of it, he said, you know, I know that we were able to connect and that I was able to manipulate your conscious, like what you were thinking of and what you were concentrating on. He said, because when I asked, well, was the woman wearing, did you like the wedding dress? He was like, some of the audience was like, meh, like, you know, they made a face. Like, even though their eyes were closed, they were like, you know, and it's like, was the food good? And it was like, you know, like they saw the smiles and the grimaces. And so he said, you have to just think about where you're at and what you do. And, you know, think about the little parts of it, not just, you know, I'm going to do this or I'm going to put my concentration in that. It was literally, okay, well, think about the, you know, opposed to just a wedding. It wasn't like, don't think about a wedding, think about the wedding dress, the food, you know, the environment, the lighting, you know, the kind of more granular, your feelings, you know, and how you feel about it. It was really cool. Very cool.
Anybody else want to add anything about the monk?
Did you see the monk? I got to meet him.
Yeah. Yeah, with the 5-week program, I guess it ends in meditation. And that's one of the things that he really...
And really, the 12-week course was like $240, which seems crazy. That seems like super cheap.
Yeah. So make you more powerful in the moment.
I have a lot of videos. I actually videotaped a lot of it, so I have a lot of those short videos. So feel free to reach out by email if you're interested. I'll send them to you. Or Facebook message or something.
The last session that I just went to was on the reporting, and it was just amazing, all the new features that Xero is adding to the reporting. The templates will allow us to make one or multiple report templates that we can then spread across all of our organizations. So if we have a report that we want to see a particular way, then we can build it in the My Xero, which is like, you're not in a specific organization, you're in like your own platform. And then you can push that out to all of the other organizations that you work with. So it allowed you to, for instance, you can add columns for formulas, dates, and then you can take a group of accounts and make them appear all together. It was a lot more powerful and I guess easier to use than any other of the report formatting tools that I've seen in other software programs. Really powerful. And there's also a section called Report Codes, which is in addition to the account codes, you can add another layer called Report Codes that then will basically reorganize the reports according to codes instead of the report codes instead of the account codes. So you might think of that as sort of like the tax prep report that might come out of QuickBooks, where you assign the tax code and then you get a report based on tax code. In this case, it's report code, so you get a report based on report codes. So there's a whole lot more going on in the Xero reports now, and the ability to filter, add in like the expected date for when you expect invoices to get paid, so that you can like see in the future what your payments are going to be coming in. It was pretty cool. I was really excited about it. The templates, I guess, are not live yet. They're going to be live soon. So as soon as that comes out, I'm definitely going to be looking forward to using it.
I love that.
Sorry.
Hi.
Yay, it's Jen.
How is everyone? Good to see you guys. We did a great job at our class.
We taught a class.
Yeah, we taught a class.
Ours was on putting automation tools to work to increase clients' cash flow.
Cash flow, yep. Yeah. Did a good job. Shelly was incredible, I have to tell you. So she demoed the entire product while I just stood there. Seriously. Turned the letters. She was great.
We did our session like a consultation. So Jen was my client, and she was very demanding.
I was very demanding, but most clients are, as we all know.
Yeah, so we get to sort of show people what it's like to do a consult.
Under pressure, consult.
Under pressure.
Yeah. So Shelly was pushing the limits there, but I think she did a really annoying client. Yeah, it was a very annoying client. Sorry, couldn't help it. had to make it true to life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we did a good job, I thought.
Yeah,
it was a whole series actually. So they started with not even having a file open to developing that file, and then moving into the cash flow portion of what we did. And then what was payroll?
Payroll.
Yeah.
And then after that came troubleshooting and cleanup, and then after that was reporting.
Oh, that was an app one.
No, that was a completely different. It was 5 classes that went all the way from setup to advanced setup to payroll to troubleshooting to year-end reports.
Yeah.
Nice series. A good concept.
Yeah, it was a really good concept. So we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did.
What was your highlight? Meeting the month?
I think the report templates. I'm just super excited about the report templates.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like the copy to feature.
I'm excited about the account codes.
Yeah.
Because our tax group is just so like second verse same as the first. Office expense is always, right, 7260. I don't know how to keep up with it. But so it's like this will help streamline that for them. And if we can apply it across all the clients, then as if the clients want to keep, my favorite's always when they want like 1,000s to be expenses. So, like, just like, actually my very favorite clients is that like just to start at 1,000 and just go straight down. So it's like 1,000, 1,001, 1,002, like expenses are like 1,260. Like, I'm like, this, no. Account codes are almost like not necessary, really. I mean, account numbers, codes, cool. Account numbers are really kind of old school. Yeah. More for when things were first getting started and you had to key it in because it was all numbered. You keyed in an account number. You never keyed in a description or a name. Right. And it was more for the program to know where to put things. If it started with a 4, it was an income account, like period. That's where it showed up on the reports. So you had to have the right coding in order for the software to produce the right numbering. And so now it's like almost irrelevant, which is why it's nice that other software that lets you and I think you can type the name in Xero, right? Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's nice to have both choices, but it's almost like.
What do you think about them getting rid of all of that together?
Account numbers
and account codes. So basically, there is no chart of accounts. There won't be any chart of accounts.
No, I think that's crazy. I think that's totally crazy because there have to be accounts.
Well, there are accounts.
Just be behind the scenes.
It's behind the scenes, but based on the customer, it's a learned behavior.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I was wondering what the consensus was.
I don't like that learned behavior because, so what do they learn about Home Depot? Do they learn that it's leasehold improvements? Do they learn that it's repairs and maintenance? Do they learn that it's for your house? What are they learning about?
I think that's the thing. It's learned behavior. So after a certain point, you can say, okay, $23 is probably a job supply, right?
Or it's you went and bought stuff for your kid's apartment in college.
I'm not disagreeing, but what I'm saying is these are the questions, but they're taking out that chart of accounts so people don't create new accounts, and then they can streamline it, flow it through so that you get those generated reports.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I do like the invoice side of it though. Like once you've created an invoice 4 times for the same one, that it will start remembering that when you're creating an invoice for John Smith, that it's more than likely going to be accounting services or whatever it is, I thought that was good.
One of the things that I had never noticed was there in Xero is when you set up the bank rules, you can set it up so that, like if you're always calling office max office supplies, you can set up the rules so that if it's over $300, it will go to assets instead of
Yes.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but what if you're buying a whole bunch of different stuff and it's $300?
at least you'll be flagged that it might not be an office supply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
So you can say if Office Max is under $300, call it office supplies. If it's over $300, put it in uncategorized because you want to look at it, or put it in fixed assets. Or,
Yeah, you can move it around.
yeah, or don't code it if it's over 300. Yeah. So yeah, to have that number in there where you can hit it, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's always been there. I just never noticed it.
That was cool. I mean, product demo was kind of interesting, so I thought it was neat. There was a lot to learn. I thought the women's breakfast was great.
Yeah.
And I thought the women talking afterwards about what they were doing in the industry, what they had done in the industry was great. The problem I found was that it was CPA firms, and so most of them. So I'm hoping that transitions, they do a nice transition into accounting practices and bookkeeping practices too, so that way it doesn't feel so corporate. So that's
Only
what
one.
no.
Yeah.
Joanne was the CPA. And
Joanne is a journalist. No, not Joanne. What's her name? Cleaver.
Oh yeah, Joanne Cleaver.
really, I thought she said she was a CPA.
No.
She consults you.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, good. Well, if that's the case, then no worries. All right, take
So
that
only
back.
one CPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's running that Move project.
She's running the Move project.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. So,
Mm-hmm.
but raising that percentage of women in the industry, you know, in public accounting and just elevating that overall, I think is a benefit. But making sure that they know that these resources are available too.
Yeah, but sometimes, I mean, like for me, I'm having like this very scary moment because of getting educated about her Move project.
Yeah.
I've had 3 different partners tell me I remind them so much of themselves.
Wow.
So it's like, oh, pardon my French, but it's like, oh my God, I'm in one of these unhealthy organizations. Like, I'm in you remind me so much of myself. And so I could have done without that.
Yeah.
At some point, ignorance is bliss.
True.
I don't think your person's coming back.
Oh, I don't think so.
Right?
It's your partner saying you remind them of themselves. So why is that bad?
Oh, no. She said, okay, so what she said was in these
You have to
accounting environments. Hold on, let me find my notes. So basically in these accounting environments, like what is like holding women back from moving between senior manager and principal or partner
I know.
is the fact that there's like literally a 41% drop from becoming manager and becoming principal. Which means that women are basically dropping off the edge of the earth at senior manager. And so what she had said was, hold on one second. She had said that, okay, she said, your firm definitely has an issue if you hear, you remind me of me. She said, because the problem is what they're excited to invest in someone because they fight like you do or they work like you do. But what happens is that you're reminding them of themselves from 25 years ago. And you know what I mean? Not now. And so she said, you overlook a talent that isn't like you or has a different outlook than you do. So, anyways, I just thought it was really interesting how, she like literally said, you or your firm has an issue. If you've ever said or heard, you remind me of me. And then she had this huge infographic about it. It was crazy.
Was diabetic heaven.
So
I thought it was kind of cool when she said that
what are y'all
some
up over there?
times women will explain that their success
No,
story is that
that one,
they
there's
worked
that
really
one.
hard and somebody sort of tapped them on the shoulder and said, okay, you're ready for management now.
I hear you now.
So that's really not the way that it works. You don't just put your head down and somebody just discovers you. That really, what happens is you have to ask for what you want. And that's one of the things that that we have to do more of. So we can't just work hard and expect that somebody's going to notice. Like, we got to bring that out ourselves.
And don't be shy, like the XYZ, remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So don't be shy. I mean, we're seeing is a lot of women.
Oh, you guys did? We made it. No, we made it.
We're waiting.
We got requested everybody. But I got you some from. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Food coming.
Enjoy them very much. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you.
I took them. So one of the things that they said is that a lot of women don't apply, right? Because
For the X-Pack.
well, for almost anything, because if we don't complete the entire thing, right? If we can't go A through Z, if we don't have all the requirements,
Right,
we're
just
not
stop.
going to apply. We just stop. But one thing with the men is if
I
they
feel
have A, they just apply for the most part because they feel, well, we might as well give it a shot. The women just stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that we need to learn. It's like to have more trust in ourselves and go forward with something, even if we don't completely fill it out, right?
Right, which brings me to this one cool slide from,
Yeah.
So there was this really cool slide from Danapani, which says, what does it say?
Proceed with confidence.
Proceed with confidence, which is so cool. You think about the monkeys climbing through the trees, like they just jump, like, you know what I mean? They just go for it, just knowing that what they need is going to be there when they get there. I don't know.
well, have you ever heard of the, it's the JUST study? It
I
was
think I might
done
have-
by a group
I
of
might have
people
heard
that
that.
run the Dixon Hughes Goodman Women Forward campaign kind of that they have, which is trying to move females through the traditional male accounting dominated profession. And they were saying that they did this research over 3 years and found that women said just and wrote in emails just over 700 times more than men.
I do that.
Really?
So it's like you're writing an email. It's like, I just wanted to let you know, I just was thinking, and so literally women write, use the word just 700 times more than men. And it's to quantify our thought.
That's funny. Wow. Because I was talking to a woman today before she presented. She said, I'm just a 0 gold. And I was like, so tell me that again and take the word just out. Right? She's like, well, I mean, I'm not a CPA. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that does that matter.
You're whatever you are. You have that.
That's cool.
The word but needs to go away too. You replace with the word and.
Well, I will tell you, ever since I went to that Women Forward seminar, and I heard that, the whole just concept thing, I can't even tell you how many emails I've rewritten. Where I've written them, like whatever was natural to me, and then I did a reread, and I was like,
There's actually
no, this is a statement. Like, the word just. This is a statement that I'm making.
there's an add-on that you can use when you write
Hey,
emails.
how are you? Come on in.
Socializing. That's what happens at these groups. I wish we could give you some of the virtual pizza and stuff because it's virtually you can consume it. It's quite good.
So this is my friend from
So the,
school, and I listen online. So we don't
The automation stuff that we were just talking about,
Yeah.
Rod Drury gave us a demo of using Xero using artificial intelligence to respond to a business owner who's using their cell phone to write a message to this bot, which is coming from the Xero program. And the message that he wrote, like one example was, how much money is in my bank account? And then the bot just sends back the response. Who owes me the most money? And the bot just shoots out the response. So they the bot is able to learn over time what kinds of questions Rod has in the morning, and then just start sending them the answers without him even having to ask. So it's using artificial intelligence to learn what it is that we typically want to know, and then answering it for us. So it's somewhat scary and really cool at the same time. So somewhat scary because we worry, is the bot really going to be able to give the right information? And also, is it going to take our jobs away, so they're not going to need us anymore? And also really cool that it can do that. And hopefully, of course, by using automation, we're able to provide a higher level of service to our clients. So it's kind of, it's something that's like in the future, but not that far out. And we're seeing artificial intelligence used in many other ways. And I guess one of the takeaways from that was that we really don't know what impact it's going to have on us overall.
Exactly.
Some emerging technologies.
I know. Well, that's why I was like, okay, I'm back.
Creating sort of a domino effect. One change results in another change and another change, and pretty soon the whole economy has changed. So, like the gig economy is one example. So it's really something that we're like struggling with and really excited about at the same time. We want to see really how it works. So that was something that I really got me thinking. That's for sure.
Our next partner. Oh, say hi.
You want to introduce yourself?
So my firm is reaching out to some of our
different
larger clients that are partner enterprise who are trying to find a solution. Take care of the clients is actually on
Awesome.
your system.
All right.
So I went out there and
I grew up in India.
you just need a whole system. Your self-service.
Yeah, I love that. That's so not a word.
And so,
Well, I know her now. I live in Seattle. I heard you. Yeah, I escaped the desert.
So the class, everything would just be assigned to something like
Not usually.
so
Maybe we run into the kind of the social aspect of our get-together now. We might be getting a little bit far off track as far as content goes.
Sorry.
Does anybody? Do you have anything else you want to add to our Zoom here? Takeaways from the? Do you have a takeaway you want to add?
We've done a lot of designing systems,
The product mastery.
Yeah, more about reporting and tips and tricks like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I learned from Dan DePani that I need to make my bed every day.
Oh, why do you make your bed? Why should you make your bed every day?
Because he says you need to finish what you start. And at night, you go to bed, you start the sleep process, and you need to finish it in the morning. When you get out of bed, you need to make your bed, and you finish that process.
and it helps establish willpower.
It helps establish willpower. Exactly.
Interesting
comment.
Yes. I'd say willpower is something that
He says,
could use a little more of.
make your bed every day for a month.
Do it. Because then you finished the sleep thing.
Finish
And
what
you're
you
like,
started. You finish what you started. If you make breakfast, you have time to make breakfast. You have time to eat breakfast. You have time to clean up the dishes. Finish what you start. Like, it sounds so easy. You know, I have dirty clothes like all over the floor. Like, even damn hungry. You know, he didn't say that. That's me. You just need to finish what you start.
does it build confidence maybe over
Build
time?
willpower. It just probably does help build confidence. I would imagine. Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, his talk was amazing.
But it goes back to building willpower and then creating being able to concentrate.
Right.
So it's like, if you finish something and you do the whole full cycle, then it's like, and you're done with it. So then you can actually concentrate on something else. Okay. But you don't finish the cycle of things. Then you've got
open and loose.
Yeah. That you have to manage in your mind.
All right. So it sounds like it's going to take more time, like to make your bed in the morning, but does it actually make you more efficient because you're not having these other things going on in your mind, or like the dishes are done, so you don't have it
Probably.
in your mind?
I think it just doesn't linger. Just think about client work. You know what I mean? If you start something and you can't finish it, it's always there. It's always lingering. It's always an open item. So if you finish what you start and then move on to the next thing, you know, multitasking, there's no such thing. But you can't do that to your brain. Yeah, you can't do that to your brain. You have to start one thing, finish it, and if you find your awareness drifting, then bring your awareness back to what you need to focus on. It's where your awareness goes, your energy flows. It's like the same thing he kept saying over and over again. Where awareness goes, energy flows.
Joe's there.
Where awareness goes, energy flows.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that was the neat thing that he had said about the whole awareness thing. Was that when you have so many things going on in your day, I think
Gina probably just checked out, but we're still recording.
Oh, okay. So what was really interesting was he said that, you know, like, there's no such thing as multitasking. He said, in fact, what we're doing is we're creating this illusion because our awareness is just jumping in so many different, like one area of the brain and one area of the thought, you know, your thoughts. It's jumping so fast that it's creating an illusion that you're multitasking. But it's not really multitasking. You're just not giving any good effort to anything. It's just jumping from one awareness to another.
These are really nice.
So it was really neat because it wasn't the first time I'd ever heard that multitasking doesn't exist.
But it was saying why.
Yes, but it was the very first time that somebody said anything that was like, oh, well, that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. And like I said, I videoed almost all of what you said. Your short little videos. So.
Yeah.
You just couldn't process it too much.
Sounds like it was a really good session.
It was great.
Really, really good.
Big takeaway.
Yeah.
And the 5-second thing that you talked about today. Mel, what's her name?
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins. That was really
I'm
cool.
gonna try.
She's like a relationship expert.
So Mel Robbins, she was talking about
over and over. Yeah. So I think I need to go.
not thinking about things and just trusting, you know, don't even think about it. Like if you're laying in bed, the alarm goes off and you think about, do I want to get out of bed right now? You know, or if I do that, then I'm going to have to deal with this, that, and the other, and then you just shut it down and then you just hit the snooze and you don't do anything. And so she said, just
I want to go.
don't even think about it. Just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just do it.
If they give me something,
Get out of bed. Just do it.
so I
You know, if you have a phone call to make to somebody you don't want to deal with, just don't even stop and think about it. 'Cause when you stop and think about it, you won't do it. You just shut down. She actually made us get up, and she said, if you're sitting next to somebody you know, get up right now and move, and go sit next to somebody you don't know. And you didn't have time to think about it. You just had to get up and do it. Just go. And it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. And she's evidently got a TED Talk that's super popular. It's like 7 million views. Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins.
The 5-second rule.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
5 seconds?
I actually watched it before Xerocon so that I could.
It said something else in the description. Where was it? Trying to find it.
Something about creating confidence, maybe?
Yeah, it was how to stop screwing yourself.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
That's the name of it. How to stop screwing yourself.
How to stop screwing yourself. Yeah.
Oh, how to stop screwing yourself over. Sorry, I missed that last word. Okay.
There was a monk that spoke.
So yeah, that was really cool.
So we spend so much time thinking about what we're going to do instead of just doing it.
Right. And we talk ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
And what's so funny about that, like, what connected that for me,
And then there was
it was actually being a mother.
about how
I have twin 2-year-old girls, and usually people are like, exactly. Like, how do you do it? Oh my God. And I always tell people, I just don't think about how hard it is. Because the moment you start thinking about how hard it is and how difficult it makes every little aspect of your life is when you start just like spiraling on the issue opposed to just living in the moment and just dealing with it. I'm not going to give up my kids. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not getting rid of them. They're not going anywhere. So just don't think about, you know, the issue or how difficult it is. You just move through it, because I can't change my reality.
Right. Which is how I dealt with breast cancer. Right. You don't think about it. You just do what you gotta do. Like, go to the doctor, do whatever he says. You do the next doctor appointment. You don't worry about what you can't control because it's not gonna do you good. I love the Dale Carnegie book. How to stop worrying and start living. Dale Carnegie, it's a great book. How to stop worrying. How to stop worrying and start living. It's amazing. It basically boils down to when you have something that you're worrying about, you just need to, for one, you can't control it. Don't worry about it. But if you come to terms with the worst case scenario, what's the worst thing that could happen, and you come to terms with that, and you understand that, okay, if that happens, then this is what would happen, and this is what I would do, then you're kind of like, okay, all right. It frees your mind up to actually solve the problem, so you're not worrying about it constantly.
I wonder if that is interesting. It's also something that women maybe do more, and maybe something that stops that a little bit. Oh.
At least.
It's late. Yeah, so just maybe that's something that we women do more, because that issue of like how if we don't have A through Z, we don't apply. We won't try. We won't like take a chance and just jump off the cliff and hope that it works. But a lot of mostly men will feel comfortable even if they don't have all the pieces. We want to get all of our ducks in order, have everything all organized.
Perfect.
Yes, which is definitely I think one of our strengths.
Right.
But it can also.
Do you ever watch The Prophet?
I do.
Prophet. So you know how he had his apprentice kind of thing? He was doing that. I actually was going to apply for that.
I know. I think you should have.
Yeah, but I didn't do it because I didn't get all my ducks in a row, and I couldn't get the video. I couldn't get the video part done. And that's
It might be
why
more manageable, right? Yeah.
We could have found it.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, actually, for this, I showed my boyfriend one of my videos, and he said something negative about it, and then I just totally lost. Takeaway from I lost confidence. It was one of your biggest what happened.
You've got to believe in yourself, and even if you don't,
Otherwise,
just do it.
I figured you have to fake it till you make it. I know. So I did it, and I totally didn't do it.
Yeah, you can't let one negative comment hurt you, because
I know
everything you do, like, I guess you go with it a lot.
But you watch, there'll be a bunch of men in that show, in that contest. He's doing like an apprentice kind of thing. He's looking for his right-hand man, so to speak. And there'll be a lot of them that apply, and there'll be, exactly. It'll be interesting to see the balance when it does come out.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's a great concept. He just walks in and it's very rational. It's very logical. He just either helps people or doesn't, but he makes deals with them right.
Tries to invest in their business. And then when he invests in their business, he says, fine, I'm 100% in charge now. You need to listen to me because what you've been doing isn't been working for you.
And takes over, listens until it gets on track, and then he basically puts those people back in if they're on work, and if not, he finds
So he either basically manages in a sense.
And there have been companies where he's tried to deal with them, and they're just such assholes. He just walks away.
Well,
even though he's invested a lot of money in
I was about to say,
put infrastructure in place, he knows when it's smart enough.
I think that's what we don't make is we don't know. I don't think we just keep things like this. I'll do a really deep stuff. The business that you make down, but I gotta start taking that up. The thing is, it just keeps writing this down. I'm gonna count. You do real stuff. We write it off. We know it's together. Yeah. And they attended a conference right before I came twice as much time. They said, sit down and look at like your annual revenue, right? Yeah. And look at how much you've written off. Some people have written off a luxury car in a whole year. Think about that. $50 here, $100 here.
I don't have that problem.
Why are you writing down things? But there are people who do that because they feel bad. I don't know, or because they think of the project done, so they just don't track their time. It's the same as ready to go.
Right.
They work hurry because they want that project completed. Yeah. I think a lot of us will say, you know what, I'm done, and you have to deal with how far I got you, and you need to find you a solution, or you need to turn this project over to someone else. But a lot of women don't.
You're right. No, I've got clients I don't want to turn this either for a variety of reasons. You're right, it's the caretaking. The mom mom's side of me.
It is a mom side.
Interesting.
That's normal.
It's
It's
a trainer.
right.
It's the nurturing nature.
Well, see,
I really want to actually.
I have a totally different aspect because of the very interesting value that in certain situations I can bring to my firm. I get emails all the time. Hey, Stephanie, can you meet with this client? I've offered them 2 hours of consulting. So to build like tax relationships or the audit relationship, I'm the guinea pig. I'm the baby. Like I'm the carrot. And so, so then my department suffers on their realization because I'm baiting. I'm the bait for tax and audit because usually the client has some sort of either small business hurdle that they need to kind of come over, or they just really need some redirection on something, and it's like Stephanie will get them on the right path. So we'll give them Stephanie's 2 hours of Stephanie's time, they'll love her, and then we'll have tax and audit. So
we start cutting out people that make us exactly. Because they wanted to use me as the bait. It feels good. That's what you've been told. I don't know what it feels like.
The organization as a whole. It's not good for me and it's not good for my department because I still have to explain why the realization as a whole of the department is standalone. I mean, solutions is its own thing, insurance is its own thing, and tax is its own
It would be
thing.
nice if those departments were in essence transferring those funds to your department.
Right. Yeah, that would be nice.
Which they should do.
Or you should have a billing code to keep track of how much free time you're giving away because they said so.
I actually thought it was very interesting thing. So I've been using a business development code for all of this last year because our managing partner has this like summarized kind of roll up that he uses for PTO.
And which is funny because
Marketing, and then admin time. It's how he kind of backs into what is an unadjusted variable.
because you're really a
And so I was like, okay, so then I looked
And
at
because
mine,
of that,
like
you
my
have to
report
have
for
a
the year
good
last year, and I was like,
if you don't,
right? Like,
you just don't have it.
right. I found out that the business development I've been using all year is not rolling into his marketing card. And so I was like, because I was like, God, this seems so crazy high. Like, I mean, the marketing was crazy low, but that my unadjusted was crazy high. And I was like,
My
what is
worst
going on
client,
here?
I probably should have fired.
So then I like drilled into it, and I realized I was like,
It was
the
the owner of
whole.
a company.
I mean, I had over probably 300 hours a year in business development
She
hours,
called
and it was like, so my unadjusted.
Because Microsoft built
Yeah, it was
PowerPoint, so they should
ridiculous.
have that house.
But
Anyway, she made a ridiculous.
It kind of reminds me of the session about
She had this horrible
creating a new, sort of the new firm, and how the different departments shouldn't be so siloed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they need to work more closely together. Always about millennials.
I was hired
with millennials and how they like to collaborate a lot more.
And we do. Like we try to bridge between the
And
different
I felt like I
departments.
couldn't say no because
It's very difficult to get
and I should have done.
two departments that are used to working on annual deadlines to sympathize with a department that's working on monthly
She gets
deadlines.
stuck between mother and daughter.
And kind of bridging those gaps. So, I mean, we really do make an effort. And it's difficult too where you have a department that's structured is very, the org chart is very flat.
Yeah.
And then you have two other departments where the org
And there's
chart
no relationship
is
building.
incredibly linear. So,
They don't call
you've got these
It's
people
wonderful.
that are supposed to be creating, unparalleled and fantastic communication, and people whose org chart goes like this.
Like them.
So,
Not spend enough time to not like them.
it's interesting what kind of happens and the dynamic that happens in a firm like that.
So here's one more takeaway. This was the 5-second rule. This is what I pulled off the video monitor.
I am getting more
Right?
like
You did
that,
it.
but I
The moment you have an impulse to act on a goal, you must push yourself to move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it.
Physically push yourself, like get out of bed or make that phone call, pick up the phone, do what you have to do that you're putting off.
Yeah,
You don't act, have to do it.
I don't charge
Have
by
to
the
or you'll
hour.
kill it.
I don't anymore either.
Stuff.
Yeah. But I did.
I can't
So you
wrap
can
my
check that out on the
brain
TED
around
Talks.
but I can
And I think it's maybe time to end the Zoom.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Jen from ICB for the pizza and the hosting. And goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Right?